Recording in progress.
Hey, Brennan, do we know who will or will not be here tonight?
I did not receive any information from anyone who won't be here.
Okay, very good. So we'll give folks some, let's see if I can get signed on here. Well, we have a quorum, so we could get this started and do the minutes and see how folks come on in. So we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Let's have the roll call, please.
Okay. Committee Member Carlton?
Present.
Committee Member Green?
Present.
I do not see Committee Member Hanson Romero. Committee Member Moss?
Here.
Committee Member Shrestha, I do not see. Chair Abbott?
I'm here. Very good. All right. Let me read the land acknowledgement statement. The City of Albany recognizes that we occupy the land originally protected by the Confederated Villages of Lejeune. We acknowledge the genocide that took place on these lands and must make strides to repay the moral debt that is owed to this indigenous people, specifically the Ohlone tribe. We thank them for their contributions, which have transformed our community and will continue to bring forth growth and unity. The City of Albany commits to sustaining ongoing relationships with the tribe and together build a better future for all that now make this their home. All right, very good. We have some minutes on the table. Folks have had a chance to review them. I'm not sure.
I move to approve them.
All right, Member Green moves to approve. Have a second?
Second.
Member Carlton, all right. Let's have a vote.
Committee Member Carlton?
Approve.
Committee Member Green?
Approve.
Committee Member Moss?
Yes.
Chair Abbott?
I approve as well. Okay. Now would be time for public comments, so I don't see any public. So I will reserve the, if somebody does pop up, I will offer them an opportunity to make a comment. I wouldn't want somebody to feel frustrated just because they're a couple minutes late. So announcements, any announcements from staff or other committee members?
I do have an announcement, but if anyone else wants to go first, I'm happy to. Okay, then I will go. So Albany Local Week recap. So every year, Albany Local Week offers community members an opportunity to celebrate the amazing businesses, parks, and attractions and uniqueness that the city has to offer for one entire week this year. Albany celebrated between September 19 and 25th. And leading up to Local Week this year, the city introduced the Albany e-gift card program, which is a community-based digital gift card that makes it fun and easy to shop local in Albany. And basically to encourage community members to support Albany's commercial businesses, the city matched for a limited time the gift card purchased amount in 2 separate campaigns. And this created a win-win for those buying the e-gift card and the Albany businesses. And based on the purchases so far, a total of $48,445 will be spent within the local economy and support participating businesses. So that's one announcement. The next one is the Albany Film Fest is occurring this week. It's this week and next week. So it's at the Albany Twin Theater. So it's back now at the Albany Twin Theater, which is the first time since the pandemic. So the dates for those Film Fest it was the 4th, the 5th, and then tonight, the 6th from 7 to 9:30. And then next week, the 11th, 12th, and 13th. So I encourage you to go to albanyfilmfest.org to find out more information and buy tickets if you're interested.
I'm sure that's where our missing committee members are. Yeah.
Yeah. And then lastly, so City Council approved the remaining ARPA spending. So that was at the last meeting, and that was on Monday. So if you want to check that out, they sort of approved the budget for the spending, and will continue to move forward with programming to help businesses. And that's it.
All right, very good. Any other committee member comments or announcements? I mean, I would mention the Solano Stroll. If folks attended, it was a huge success. We were very excited. We, I'm involved with the organization, and we didn't know what to expect with the pandemic, but we were delighted that about as good a crowd as we've seen in recent years came out. So it was very good, and we're particularly delighted. There's a heat wave the week before, and the week after we went to the El Sobrante Stroll, which was rained out. So we were right in the sweet spot there. So we're very excited about the stroll, and I appreciate the city support on that, and so many people contribute to that. Just want to mention that. All right. I see member Shrestha has joined us, so that's great. And I think we'll move right into presentations. And item 5.1, presentation of the new economic development website, which I took a quick look at. It was very impressed by. So I believe that's going to be you, Brandon.
Yep, I'm getting ready to share my screen. Just one moment. Yeah, that's okay. Sorry. It's funny how many, it's been about 2 years since we've been using Zoom, and I still have to. Okay, anyway. So economic development website. So the purpose of this website is to provide informational resources for new and existing businesses, as well as offer a glimpse of Albany from a commercial sense to businesses potentially interested in opening a business in Albany. So some of the key information for new and existing businesses are economic indicators, potential information, including population information, including info on demographics, the local labor force, and consumer expenditures, and link to major current projects that may impact economic development in Albany, as well as helpful resources. And for potential like business attraction, there's a link to available properties, information on how to start your business in Albany, information on the qualities that make Albany an attractive place to do business, and Albany indicators and population information, as mentioned before, and information on Albany's commercial districts. So we'll kind of take a look at everything sort of one at a time. So here's the homepage. Welcome to Albany. Has some information which we'll go into, the economic indicators that were mentioned, commercial districts, and then here's some general information that you can get. This is through the GIS planning. So you can find information on the labor force, demographic information, so population information, which it looks better than that most of the time. I don't know if that's like a sharing thing that's an issue, but yeah, so we'll move on. We're going to go to Choose Albany. So basically what this does, this page is to provide a general summary of Albany. If you haven't sort of been here before or want to know a little bit more about the details, and then also highlight some of the assets that Albany has. So that market area, the schools being particularly good, and the parks, and offers information on available properties. We move over to doing business in Albany. This shows the steps on how to get started. So making a business plan, business structure. As you can see, there's sort of general information. So the East Bay Small Business Development Center offers one-on-one consultation. So we want to make sure those types of links are easy to access and easy to see. And then there's also just information on the permitting process. It can be a particularly confusing permitting process to get started. So we just wanted to make sure we have highlighted information. So you go to the finance department to obtain your business license. If you have anything that requires like the planning and zoning, such as building permit, like things you require a building permit, or if you're getting an alcohol permit, it has information on that and when to contact planning and zoning about it. And then also just information on fire inspection. So those are the three main things that you would want to contact the city about, outside of just contacting economic development staff for general information. We just want to make it as easy as possible to kind of get everyone oriented. And then when you get ready for launch, We have information on utility services, so we'll explore that in a little bit. Market strategy, this is also linking to the East Bay Small Business Development Center, which offers some programs on marketing strategy. I attended a few just to see what they're like, and they do offer some good marketing strategies. And then also, if you're planning a grand opening, just letting you know what it can be, and then if you that the Albany Chamber of Commerce offers ribbon cuttings for members. And then
I would just jump in. We offer
yes.
it to everybody. You don't have to be a member. So just
okay.
everybody. All new
I can
visitors.
update that.
Just whenever. Yeah, whenever.
Okay, I'll update it. And then get resources to grow. So information on hiring. So there's East Bay Works is something that you can use for hiring for your business. Expanding and relocating, we recommend contacting economic development staff about that. And then also market insights. So we have our Zoom prospector information as well as contacting economic development staff. And then general information that can assist you in Albany, and then some contact information. So then we move into quality of life. I'll try and go through these a little quicker now. Just general information that talks about why Albany is just such a great place to live and do business or come to work, essentially. And then Shop Albany references our e-gift card. And then Helpful Links provides all the helpful links in Albany. Going back to the homepage, we have information on starting your business, finding available properties, information on demographics, and then current projects. And there's also economic development indicators that you can find as well. And then there is commercial district. So we'll explore these one at a time. The starting your business is more of a general thing. It's just letting you know that economic development staff is here to help, and then tries to bring you to that doing business in Albany page. The available properties, it shows the available properties that's available through Zoom Prospector. The demographics, so it shows the economic indicators for Albany, as well as some information on demographics. So this is where, oh yeah, that's the one that's nice, that works like that. So it shows age distribution. So you can find that information there, as well as information on consumer expenditures and the labor force. So that is that page. Next, you have current projects. So these are some of the major projects, like the 540 San Pablo Avenue project, the Saha building, and then the San Pablo specific plan. So these are ones that impact population. Oh yes, Member Green.
Did it say that our population is 173,000?
Oh, good catch. That is not the population. So let me show you. So these are the economic indicators. This one is showing results within a 3-mile radius, because we want to make sure that it's showing the visitors of Albany. And then this is specific to Albany. So the median household income, the median household expenditures. And the only reason I specified these was because I don't have the information with a 3-mile radius. I just couldn't get that specific.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is with a 3-mile radius, because we're not just doing business for Albany residents, but for the surrounding area. So that was the logic.
Right. Okay.
Yes. Okay, great. Thank you for asking that, because that is good to clarify. Thank you. Yeah, so we did current projects, and then sorry, I feel like I got a little bit lost. Oh yeah, so this is the economic indicator. So it shows information in a more like kind of that Zoom prospector information. So it's the same demographic, labor force, consumer expenditures, but you can kind of get more detailed with that information. And then we have the commercial districts. So this shows the different commercial districts in Albany. So Solano Avenue includes pictures of the different businesses. And then if you're interested in finding out more about a business, you can click on the picture and it takes you to that business's website, which will load. Yes, okay, that worked. And so the same for San Pablo, the same for Cleveland Avenue. And then it also shows sort of our larger national businesses. So we want to emphasize that we have Target, we have Sprouts, Albany Subaru, BevMo, and then the USDA, which is important for economic development as well, and in what they're able to offer with research and development for new businesses. So that's pretty much an overview of the website. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, and I'll stop sharing my screen. Is that the hand?
Yeah, remember Green, I see your hand is up. Did you have more to say, or you're just?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to lower it.
Okay.
No more questions.
Well, I was no question at this point. Yeah, I was curious where the demographic information, where's that being pulled? Was it from?
That's from the Zoom prospector, yeah.
So it's just being pulled out in a different format. Got it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So see no attendees. Okay. I do have some comments.
Sure.
But just very, very minor things. I don't see any public, so I don't know if we can. Member Moss, please.
Yeah, I'll start out with a question. So the idea is to get this out to people who might be looking to set up a business in Albany, presumably.
Yes, that is correct.
So is this something you refer them to if they call City Hall, or are you actively trying to market it in some way?
This is something we'll both. So we're referring them to it, and then we're actively trying to market it. And so this essentially serves as a hub. If we reach out to potential businesses that may suit Albany in some way, then we have a place to send them to. So for more information, visit this website. So it's sort of just a friendly way to welcome businesses and potential businesses.
Yeah, I was just curious as how you do reach out to businesses. I mean, are you looking at trade shows or I don't know, some situation where you would set up a booth and have this as a reference, or
Yeah, at this point we're going to do some initial outreach to businesses just through cold calls and finding out what kinds of businesses, if they're interested in Albany. If not, what are the kind of the things that would impede them from wanting to come to Albany or anything like that, or say maybe they are interested in Albany but they just need a space, and then we'll kind of keep a note for when if something is available. So we're going to start with that kind of one-on-one outreach and then kind of build from there.
And will you somehow keep track of who is looking at this, and would that be information you would share with the committee from time to time as to who seems to be interested?
Yeah, that's a good point. I have to look into that. I'll have to look into see what that process.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any more?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any more?
Yeah, I think that's it for my questions at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then also to mention, you had mentioned trade shows, and one thing that we're going to make sure to do this year is, or this coming year is ICSC, which we're members of. They have a conference in Monterey every year, and we're going to make sure to attend that and just kind of get to know more of the economic development community and potential businesses in that sense. So that is another thing that we're doing.
Okay.
Was that a hand or no? I'm never sure. It was. Okay, go ahead. You're just unmute. You're set.
No, just to make a point on that. We can even promote it to, what is that called? The book brokers, those who sell businesses and all.
Mm-hmm.
They would be a good way to promote this particular website to the new owners or new business seekers.
That's a good point. Thank you, because we're also going to be starting our conversations with the commercial brokers as well. We've started it, and we want to really now that we have the website, we want to build it now that we have a place to bring people to. But thank you.
That would be one of the best ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when you say we, I kind of think it's you. Are you kind of the economic development person?
I have a tendency. I have a tendency to say we as the collective city. It's just, I apologize. I think sometimes I'll say we for like decisions you all make, and I don't know. It's just a term.
No, that's fine. I wasn't criticizing. I just wanted to be clear that.
No, that is a good point.
Other people. You are the person.
I know. I'll look around, but still, it's just me.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Just want to be clear. All right. Any other questions. I do see we have somebody has joined the meeting, so we'll give them an opportunity to make a comment if they like. I believe, Dwayne, if you're here and you have something you'd like to say to the committee, you missed the public comment portion, but if you wanted to make a public comment at this point, that'd be fine. Just raise your hand. And I'm not seeing activity there. So I think we'll come back then. All right. I just very small comments. I saw links that are click here. No, just stop doing that right now. It needs to be inactive. Rather than click here for this information, just have this information be the link. People need to know what they're linking to. That's an accessibility thing as much as anything. People accessing it through a screen reader will say, click here, but it doesn't tell them what, whereas opposed to if it says a thing there.
Great.
I did want to make a comment that, the efforts we've been making for recruiting more diverse business community, I think this website is a great start, and that there could be a section with resources specifically targeted, in particular grant opportunities specifically for.
That's actually a good point, and I forgot to mention in my presentation our next steps. If I could sort of elaborate on that.
So absolutely. I love it.
Next step. So this was essentially like what you had mentioned, Chair Abbott. It's a starting off point. We want to build it out from here. So we want to provide information on general resources for businesses that is periodically updated, and what we would want to include is information on business assistance and financing, specifically for women-owned businesses, BIPOC-owned businesses, LGBTQ+ owned businesses, and organizations like the East Bay Small Business Development Center offer webinars for things like that, which I've attended as well, and they are helpful. And then what we also want to do is provide information on how to become a green business, and not just that, but also helpful information and resources to make your business more environmentally sustainable. In case you're not able to make the jump to the green business, which is, it's a process, but there are things that you can do that we want to be able to make it easy for businesses to access, to just kind of do those little things. So I'm just going to be working with the sustainability division to get that page up as well.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And I see you have this great resources for starting a business. I'd love to see resources that's kind of targeting the current businesses. I think all the information is on the site, but I think it would be nice just to if you're doing business now and you're having a problem, contact here. It could link to the projects that they might be concerned about, things like that. Just a little portal for those folks, and some sort of contact mechanism front and center.
Right.
Upcoming events and et cetera, et cetera. Member Moss, yeah.
Yeah, I guess kind of a comment. When I try to explore it online, I started to type in Choose Albany, and it immediately took up choosealbany.com, which takes you to Georgia. And is in fact a somewhat similar site and set up somewhat similarly. But the one thing that I noticed that they had was something you could click on what businesses are here. And I wondered if that might be useful information to, a prospective somebody wants to do a restaurant, how many restaurants do we have in Albany? How many retail shops of one sort or another do we have? How many insurance agents, or how many, that kind of information, so people could see, what the potential competition might be. And then thinking a little bit further down the line, some information which might be in there because I didn't explore it so long, but how much parking is available, in our commercial categories. And, normally there's quite a bit, but I think that's a point that I think some businesses would want to know about. Who serves us in transit, or, how far are we from transit stations? And then, flout our bicycle access. But all kind of practical information that maybe a business would want to know in order to pick a location or decide on a location.
Great, thank you. And then Sorry, I apologize. I was writing notes. So I have the available parking, who serves in transits, like nearby transit stations. What was the last one? I apologize.
Oh, even that we have this bicycle path thing. I mean, I don't know how detailed you need to get on that, but I mean, it is, we're very accessible, I think would be the main thing. And also that idea that we are very walkable. And that's one of our big pluses, maybe more of a plus for people wanting to move here, but that could be helpful for businesses also.
The businesses are always interested in foot traffic, so that's the community that encourages walking is good. I'm sorry, Brendan, go ahead.
Oh yeah, so I was going to say we do have a information on the walkability as one of the business assets. I believe it's one of the business assets or one of the qualities of life, but I understand what you mean to kind of hit all of the points of the parking and the bicycle and the walkability to make it really emphasize the accessibility.
Yeah.
So did you pretty much build this yourself?
Yeah. So
wow,
Jeremy
nice.
Allen is who he set up the page, and then I kind of went in and started doing it.
Okay.
And, we had I will emphasize it wasn't just me. We did have an intern kind of doing some research on other similar sites. I actually hadn't looked at the choosealbany.com, oddly enough. So I'll take a look at that and see what they offered there. Oh, go ahead.
It's what comes up as you start to type in. It doesn't. It wants to go to .com rather than .org.
Sometimes when you know what you're looking for, you miss the ones that are like those extra ones. But anyway, I'll look at that. But then also, we've had our what's it called? We've had our consultant, John Montag of Montag Consulting, who presented in September. I still work with him, and he offers insight based on his experience. So that's also something that we still work together and those types of things. So, yep.
Cool. All right. I looked at it. It seems to be accessible, which is a really important thing. I think that's built into Squarespace, but you've done what you need to do there. So I think it's a really, really strong start, and I very much appreciate your efforts. And good job. If I could pat your back, I would pat your back. I see a hand here.
Do appreciate it.
Next time I owe you a back pat.
Okay, I'll remind you. I'll give you an IOU.
Remember Carlton?
Yeah, I just want to say, I think it looks great too. And is this live now?
Yep. Yeah.
I was just looking at the Albany CA site and I wasn't sure where to find it.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, that's sort of why we have an economic development page, is to sort of separate out from the Albany CA site, because it's so hard. I mean, when you have to incorporate so many departments, it can be hard to navigate. So what we're essentially going to do is we're going to have business cards for economic development that shows the economic development website as well as the economic development email. And then also, when we do our welcome packet and things like that, we'll provide this specific website. But it is accessible on, there is a link. So if you go under our city and you go under business in Albany, there is the Choose Albany is the #1 thing. And then that will take you right to this site.
Got it. Okay.
But, it's easier said than done. I fully understand.
Fair enough. No, I understand. There's a lot of information, a lot of options. So,
great. I think as we build it out, maybe there'll be opportunities to put links, more prominent links.
And I think as we start to do more of the outreach, this will, it's just going to take a little bit of word of mouth for this to build. But
okay, all right.
Oh, sorry.
Well, any other? Remember, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Just one more comment. We had one of our subcommittees was to talk about like hiring practices and such in Albany, and we had said that maybe like a social media page might be the way to go. If we actually got one of those, I assume that we could put a link into the into this website there for the social media.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, that's a good point too, because we were sort of looking at how we can incorporate something like that on that page, on this website. And we haven't found that mix of things where it's user-friendly for businesses, automated enough for staff, but then have a filtering system where you can approve the posts so you don't have fraudulent posts.
Yeah.
But
sure.
yeah, having, I forgot about the social media aspect that could make that more, yeah, a little bit easier to manage.
Great.
Mhm.
And I would just say, I would offer my advice or help if you ever need help with this sort of thing. I do this stuff professionally.
Great.
I have a lot of experience there.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other comments or questions before we move on? Just great job, and let's keep the meeting moving. Okay.
Right.
Closing that one out. Advisory body status report.
All right. Let me just pull this up. Sorry, just one moment. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to do this to the best of my abilities. I do have a Word doc that I'll be working on at the same time, and we'll just see how that goes. So hopefully you can see the changes, which I'll share afterward. So let me see if I can get this going. So what we're doing for this status report is essentially kind of what we did when we created the work plan. We identified things that like work plan outcomes from, oops, oh, I don't know how that works. Sorry, let me just escape. Let me do this first, and then I'll so we provided work plan outcomes from the previous work plan. Now, as we're getting closer to the end of the 2 years, we want to provide outcomes for the 2021-2023 work plan. And now I will do the share screen. So we'll just kind of go through each of the items. Highlighted in yellow is what we are, is sort of what the progress made on each of these items. And if you have any changes, updates, I will make that as so we can, and then we'll review that at the end. So for designate committee members to conduct research and consult with other cities and organizations about strategies for economic development, a monthly report on findings is presented to the committee by members. So in progress, a subcommittee was established to conduct research and identify opportunities, connect with other cities and organizations about strategies for economic development. Do we want to go one by one or kind of do an overview first and then go back? Is that going to be easier?
Oh, what do you folks think? I'm thinking probably one by one. The advantage of doing an overview is if we get confused by the subcommittees, which is which, but I think we keep that straight. So yeah, let's just go one by one.
Okay, so any comments on conducting?
Yeah, I mean, I would say member Hans-Romero is the one who's done the most work on this. She connected with, she actually has connected like a social connection with an economic development folks in Hayward, and got a lot of information from them on tools they use and strategies they've used. And she also did a lot of work on the idea of a shuttle. She connected with Emeryville and talked to them about how the Emeryville shuttle is, you don't have to write all this down, but I'll remind her we need a report. How the Emeryville shuttle is funded, how it's operated, how much it costs, and that sort of thing. So those were a couple ideas for economic development that she looked into. Obviously, she'd be better to speak about it, but
sounds good. And I can always refer back to those particular meetings and try and get an overview. Yeah.
Anybody else on this? I'm trying to remember who was on that committee. It was Hans Romero, and I'm not sure who else. Yeah. Okay.
Periodic report for from a commercial real estate broker. So this one's kind of always in progress. The last one we had was in December. I think an annual report makes sense, which, by the way, we're probably going to have another one in December just to kind of do an overview. And so I think member Hanson Romero had a suggestion. So maybe I'll reach out to her and see if that person might be a viable option for the next December meeting.
Cool. Yeah, I ran into actually the gentleman who's been doing it the last few times was at the event last night, Chamber of Commerce Mixer. So he has a background in philosophy, so we talked about philosophy for a while. But it was good. It was interesting. Yeah. Okay, moving on.
All right. So Sorry. Okay. Facilitate and provide input on potential business uses for vacant properties and new developments. Provide input on business recruitment and retention plan with a particular focus on women, BIPOC, and LGBTQA plus owned businesses when it comes to the committee. And so for this, a subcommittee was established to conduct research in and identify opportunities and programs that would aid in this effort.
I mean, I think I presented on this just briefly a couple months ago, maybe last month even, that at this point we are thinking of providing kind of information. Didn't find a lot of support for programs operated by the city, but certainly the city could connect people with programs, and so that would tie in very nicely with the beautiful new website.
And then the next one is work with the Arts Committee to engage in commercial areas. So in progress, a subcommittee was established to conduct research, and the subcommittee held meetings with a similar Arts Committee subcommittee to exchange ideas and information. Both subcommittees will work on separate elements of a mural program for commercial properties. And Member Green, I think maybe this is where if you have additional information, we can always provide that. I know you've provided additional reports too of options. So.
And we're working on our separate things, but also approaching it collaboratively. So, so we're continuing to work together with the Arts Committee.
I apologize. All right. Okay, I'll just leave it at that for now. Okay, sorry, it's hard to like do the reading and the typing. Sorry. So number 3, look for ways to collaborate with other city committees and local organizations. I put completed because I think we assessed that, we will do that as needed, and so future collaboration will be conducted as needed. And then assist in the design of an economic development recovery plan. So the EDC reviewed and provided input on the COVID Small Business Assistance Program, which was created to support Albany small businesses impacted by the pandemic, and offered up grants up to $20,000 per eligible business. It also reviewed and provided feedback on the in-street parklet program, and additional programs will be presented for EDC's review as needed. So that's why it's in progress.
Very good.
I
don't have anything to add to that. I don't know if anybody else does. Yeah.
Right. Support businesses for providing best practices for recruiting and hiring. Help increase employment in the city with a job fair and a web portal for businesses to post job ads and receive employee resumes. So in progress, a survey was conducted where businesses provided feedback on the type of programs and resources that would be most beneficial when recruiting and hiring. And I think from there, valuable feedback we received valuable feedback for where to focus.
Yeah, no, very good. I agree. I think that's fine.
Okay. And then inform marketing and outreach materials, including a marketing brochure, promotional video, social media, and web portal. So you had a review of the marketing and outreach. So your review of marketing and outreach materials occurs as needed, such as today with the web portal. Moving on, last one.
Has there been any additional work on a brochure?
That's a next step. So we did the web information. We have the web portal. Now we have information for the brochure, and now it's just linking up with a graphic designer to put that together. So
okay, very good.
That's where we're at with that, and which should be hopefully in the next month or so. We'll be able to onboard a graphic designer to help put that together.
All right, very good.
Mm-hmm. So number 4, assist in developing and analyzing results of a survey to evaluate efforts related to business attraction, retention, and permit/customer service issues and discover new ideas for supporting local business growth. So in progress, the EDC reviewed, analyzed, and provided feedback on 3 economic development related surveys. The first was sent to businesses on the impact of COVID-19 of the COVID-19 pandemic after 1 year. The second was sent to both businesses and community members on parklets associated with commerce. And the third was sent to businesses on hiring, recruiting, and retaining employees. And that, well, again, is in progress, as is most of the things, because they're just continuous things. So listed 2 is the potential future work plan items. That's not necessarily something we have to discuss today, but as things are reviewed, maybe circling back to some of these would be beneficial.
I mean, do we want to make a note? It seems like the options for successful regular unique street event in Albany. The SAA has started their smaller stroll events or stroll-ish events, and I think that can kind of fill that role. But I don't know if you want to mention that here. That's not really an action of the EDC. So
yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah, we'll just leave it off for this one. But I mean, for that one, it was interesting. I think that pretty much sold that one. But anyway.
Yeah, I think the intention was it to be monthly or weekly, but I'm not sure that that's practical.
Yeah.
Depending on the event, it's a lot of work. Okay. Any comments or questions, folks?
So I guess the question I would have is, so the potential future work plan items are something we'll be discussing in a future meeting.
Yeah, so what we're doing right now is we basically are getting this prepared for City Council to review at their November meeting. They'll review it, and then when in the next year is when the sort of assessment for what new work plan items should be selected. So right now it's just the review of the current work plan. There's going to be a future meeting for a future work plan.
Okay.
I know that this work plan process was delayed. Are we in the second year or the first?
I know. We
didn't get it till like the fall.
I know. So I mean, it feels like we're a little bit into year 1 of it. Like we're just concluding year 1 is what it feels like.
Okay.
So,
all right. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll open it up for public comment just in case somebody wants to make a comment on the work plan progress, status, update. And not seeing anything. All right. Any other final comments before we move on? All right. Great. Thanks. All right. Again, thank you, Brennan. Nice job. So now we have the subcommittee reports. Anybody have anything to report from a subcommittee meeting or action research? I know I've had my hands full, I have to say.
I would have reported what I just said anyways. So just that we're continuing to work with the Arts Committee on the mural program and the city on the mural program. And we're going to try and get something going. So.
Very exciting. Great to see that moving forward. And I can say that I've continued to collect resources for the BIPOC and LGBTQA plus recruitment. And I am going to share those with you, Brendan.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, and then quickly on the back on the status, I'm afraid, for the best practices for recruiting and hiring. It does specifically mention a job fair, and we kind of got the sense folks weren't really interested in a job fair. I don't know if
that's a good point.
Add that there or not, but I would just mention that.
Actually, we probably should circle back. I think we have to approve this to go to council in some capacity.
And vote. Okay.
Yeah, because it's going to be at the November one, and
of course.
I can, if the committee agrees, I can work with Chair Abbott to just finalize the language, which includes everything that we discussed. But let me make that quick note really quick. I mean,
If that sounds okay, we can have a motion. We'll need to approve this to go to council.
mhm.
Member
No,
Moss, do you want to see more definite language?
I'm trying to figure out what I'm approving or, putting out a motion to approve, but I think I would, submit a motion that would allow Chair Abbott and Brennan to work together for the finalization of the language, on the work plan. Something to that effect.
Would you feel more comfortable if we kind of ran through the any changes that Brennan's recorded?
Yeah, I think we could approve that.
You okay with that, Brennan? Is that something you're
Yeah,
set up
except
to do?
I missed the last note that you made. What was that? I apologize.
The one I made just a minute ago.
I remember
about
the job one.
fair.
Yeah.
Fair,
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, just one. Let me make a quick note on that. And again, these are quick notes.
I take it this November meeting will be before EDC's November meeting?
Probably.
It probably will be. I'm not sure. Well, the November
It'll be
meeting
the
is on the 3rd, so it might actually be. It would be the Monday, but their agenda already would get posted by the time that we
Okay,
meet.
so this does need to be settled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, just one moment.
Phil, please go ahead, Member Carlton.
I just had a question kind of on how specific this should get then, because you commented on the best practices for hiring, and it specifically called out a job fair. And to your point, the results of the survey seemed like people aren't really interested in that. We did kind of conclude that maybe like a social media platform or page would be the most beneficial. And I'm not sure if we want to add, that specific kind of like what our recommendation was in this. And if so, do we want to go back through each one of these and say what the recommendation was if a presentation was given?
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, let me make that note. I do think it would be worth including, because that is as specific as a job fair. So.
Right.
So it was concluded that the business community here, I'm just going to share my screen and you're going to have to watch me type, and I apologize that I'm not the strongest typer. All right. It was concluded that the business community is not interested in a job fair. I don't know. We can work to soften the language, and instead a social media platform.
Platform or page.
Yeah.
So when you say social media, there's a lot of different social medias. Do we need to get a little more specific? Are we talking Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever?
Yeah.
TikTok?
I don't think it would help to be specific. I think that would lock someone into something.
I think it's kind of a hashtag as much as anything.
Yeah.
So that when somebody posts a job, it is visible to folks looking for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I mean, perhaps it's instead we believe leveraging social media might be more effective, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It's a little more generic.
Yeah, and not committing us to a strategy.
Wait, sorry. Say that one more time. I apologize.
Leveraging social media. Yeah.
Leveraging the social media page.
No, just social media.
Leveraging social media. Leveraging social media.
There are lots of ways to get the word out about something via social media that's not a page. So leveraging social media. Yeah.
Related to job opportunities would be considered. What is was
could be, might be, proposed to be, suggested. What do you folks think? Member Carlton, you and I were working on this.
Sorry, just trying to read it through.
A more effective or more effective option.
I like effective, yeah.
Community.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that reads well.
Yeah, no, I think that works. You're just a fine typist, Brennan.
Thank you. You know, I get the stage fright. I
Oh,
just,
it's when somebody else is looking over your shoulder that you make typos.
yeah, I know.
I think the best typist in the world could probably falter when people are watching.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so let's just kind of go through really quick again. So
Yeah.
Designate committee members to conduct research and consult with other cities and organizations about strategies for economic development. Member Hanson Romero connected with economic development folks in Hayward for strategies they use.
You might folks is what I used, but maybe
I know I was
staff. I think
economic
staff would be
development
appropriate.
staff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where the idea for the consumer analytics came from, and that could be a bullet point too. Recommend consumer analytics, because that was their strategy, and that was how they built up their downtown.
Right. And then Emeryville shuttle research, we can kind of clean that up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Maybe say did research.
Thinking
on the viability of a shuttle in Albany for economic development, to enhance economic development.
Yeah. And she actually even got a quote, from a service out in the
okay.
Yeah, so
and Emeryville shuttle research
including did research including research on the Emeryville shuttle program.
Shuttle program. Okay. Great. Number 2, this one, I think.
I don't know if we have anything to add to that. Yeah.
What happened here? Okay. How does this? Okay. I feel like it. Oh, I see.
It goes from there and over.
And goes over there. Yeah. Facilitate providing information. But this one is yours, Todd. Do you want to just provide, when I send you the draft, do you want to, if you have any additions, you can add to it?
Yeah. I know that I was kind of long-winded. I didn't phrase it in a way that.
Yeah, I know. I think at this point I was getting a little trying to balance the things. So.
Yeah. Okay. The idea is going to be that the city would be a connector or a providing information, make it as easy as possible. But we can work on language for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I'll write something up.
Working with the Arts Committee. So the thing that was added, working on separate projects from the Arts Committee while working, and then collab, and then I had to move on.
I would say working, continuing to work in collaboration with the Arts Committee on a murals project. I think you can take out working. Well, I guess. Keep going. Maybe start it by saying, oh, I can't think without typing myself.
I know.
Yeah, forget it. It's fine.
I think if you just said working on separate projects with the Arts Committee, and then instead of saying, and then say while collaborating with the Arts Committee.
As opposed to why do we make it a separate? Why do we make it a separate bullet point? Yeah.
Working on separate projects.
Yeah, that's true. You can make that 2 bullet points.
Yeah.
So that would be from the Arts Committee.
Mm-hmm.
And
then just working in collaboration on a mural project would be another bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Oh wait, no. Working in collaboration. Oops. All right.
There.
Yeah.
Great.
Mhm. And so I'll change some of this too to make this the language.
Okay, good.
Look for ways to. Oh yeah, we completed that. I'll just move on. Assist in the design of an economic recovery plan. So
I don't know if there's anything we would add.
yeah, I mean that was a big lift. I will say that.
It was. No, we did a lot of work on that. But yeah.
Yeah. Support let me just see. Okay, support businesses by providing best practices for recruiting and hiring. So this was where a survey was conducted where businesses provided feedback on the type of programs and resources that would be most beneficial when recruiting and hiring. It was concluded that the business community is not interested in a job fair. Instead, leveraging social media related to job opportunities in Albany could be a more effective option. Inform marketing and outreach materials, including a marketing brochure and promotional video, social media, and a web portal. Review of marketing and outreach materials occurs as needed. Should I say including? Well, anyway.
You could mention that we reviewed the new website.
Yeah, I mean, also what was helpful was reviewing the old welcome packet, and then that gave us directions. So now we can.
Oh, right. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
As needed, included. Sorry, this included. Ugh, I cannot. Previous welcome packet.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would capitalize previous, but yeah.
Just capitalize everything. It's all important.
Do that too.
Then you're just shouting.
Yeah. All right. We're moving on. Website, not as important. Albany Economic Development. Yeah. Okay.
Wouldn't you normally put something in parentheses after that website? Choosealbany.org.
Oh yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
.org, not .com.
Not .com.
Well, we can all go to Georgia, I suppose.
Assist in developing and analyzing results of a survey to evaluate efforts related to business attraction, retention, and permit/customer service issues, and discover new ideas for supporting local business growth. EDC reviewed, analyzed, and provided feedback on 3 economic development related surveys. Yeah. I mean, this, unless there's more information to include from the surveys.
And was the economic development plan that John Montag was working on, was that the previous work plan? Or would that go under this too? I think it was the previous work plan.
Oh yeah. Well, that was us. He conducted like
Right.
an assessment, and so that was his own assessment for what Albany could focus on as far as
Oh, okay.
economic development.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that would go exactly.
Yeah, and I think it was before this. I think it was the tail end of the last work plan rather than this work plan. So I assume it was covered under that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I think we're set.
Okay, Member Moss, are you happy now? Can we vote?
Yeah, I guess so. I that's specific enough.
No, that's good.
So I
we
would
need
move.
Yeah.
I would remove move my previous motion and go for an updated one. You know that you could follow through. So you've done the editing now. I take it you're not going to have to get together separately. We're about
There was
this.
one item I was going to clarify.
Yeah, we'll do
okay.
one cleanup, but the information isn't changing. It's just
Okay.
making
Well,
it.
then I guess I move approval of what's been presented to us to be forwarded on to the council.
Very good.
Great.
Okay. Get a second.
I second.
Okay, Member Green, thank you. All right, let's have a vote.
Okay, Committee Member Carlton,
Approve.
Committee Member Green,
Approve.
Committee Member Moss,
Yes.
Committee Member Shrestha,
Approve.
and Chair Abbott.
I approve. Very good.
you so
All
much.
right. I think we've pretty much done the subcommittee reports. Is that correct? Yeah, I think we're all set there. Okay. So any ideas for future agenda items, things you want to see come back or that you want to add? Something to think about?
Would it be worth beginning the discussion on, the potential future work plan items? I mean, is that too early for that, or?
I'm not sure what the process is. Let me check with the city clerk. I want to make sure that. Sorry, go ahead, Chair Abbott.
It's a 2-year work plan, right? So potentially we have another year on this work plan.
Yeah,
But,
I think
it's a little weird because, we did our work plans at the beginning of last year, but then the process changed. So they weren't really approved until, the middle
September
of
of
the year.
2021,
So
I think.
I'm not sure where we are. But
Yeah.
we often review it at the beginning of the year and then we can make suggestions or changes. So
I
we
think
could
that
hold
makes
on to that.
sense. Yeah.
But maybe that would be more of the thing. Yeah. I don't think I have anything I would say at this point, but we can always send you. And you folks do know that if you have a suggestion for an agenda item, you can just send it to Brennan at any point and he'll share it with me and we can,
And
That's
if you have
correct,
any
right?
questions or anything like that, feel free to reach out to me.
Okay. I think we've not seen anything else. I think we can adjourn the meeting. So the next meeting is November 3rd. So, and I think we might be in person then. Is that right?
I don't know yet. I don't want to make any.
Okay,
I don't
well,
want to make any, but
I
yeah.
know Parks and Rec is meeting in person next
Yes.
week, so we'll see.
Yeah. So the way that it's working, so City Council started meeting in person. Now the commissions are meeting in person, and then after that, at a date uncertain, the committees will begin to meet in person. So that is down the line, though I don't have a specific timeline.
I think that's a great idea. I'm hoping we can go forward with that.
And is there still ability for members who can't make the in-person meeting to come in virtually? Is that part of the plan, or is that?
So that's the challenge. I will say. So I think for the in-person part, the city staff have to come in person, and the committee members have to come in person. And if they're unable to, they have to open their space to the public. And I hope I'm not providing the wrong information. I'll have to check with the city clerk, but I think that's the process for that.
Presumably it would become clear as well.
But it is a hybrid in terms of the public, so the public can attend and make comment.
Which I think is great. Yeah.
As I recall on council, that was in most public meetings, if you're an elected official and you're coming in on the phone or on Zoom or whatever, you have to be in a public space of some sort, or a publicly available space. So you just leave your front door open and put your address out for that.
And then go find my dog 2 hours later. Okay. All right. No, by that time she'd come back. She'd been all over. She'd be back. All right, folks. Thanks so much. See you next month.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye.